this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you. I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
I do this for the kids who sit a bit outside the mix, who maybe cope through humor just to fit in for a bit, who never let the world know when depression's setting in. To all of those who know you, that impression don't exist, and it ain't counterfeit, it's just a way to counter it. I'm living things I dreamed about, I still encounter it. It ain't something that a cigarette or alcohol can fix, but all because of it, I flipped it quick, went on to write some hits. This a success, off another breath. This the first step in searching to be nothing less than be the best in what you do to prove their strength in being you. Learn so much in chasing dreams that I never would in school. Depends on where your passion lie, just no passion never lie. Life presents distractions, but your actions have to fortify the things that you believe in. Have to scream it like a battle cry and leave the ones who didn't looking stupid while they're asking why. Couldn't lie, I really do this for the ones I love. Those who treat the music as a vice and lyrics like a drug. Those who need advice on how to lift their spirit high enough to break out of the box they make up lives they know aren't good enough. Just because it's how it is don't mean it's how it has to be. This is what the uninspired testifiers fail to see. Jealousy results from being that which others fail to be, and if it means you're not with me, that honestly sounds fair to me.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
Do this for my mother, she'll be working for the summer. Do this for my father, cause these days I often wonder what my life would have been like if I was not adopted. To grow up in a home where I was treated like a problem. I don't know, it's just a guess. Your guess probably good as mine. Lucky that I grew up in a home that wanted me to shine. Lucky that I grew up around some mountains we were taught to climb. Without that inspiration, I don't think that this would be my life. Do this for my friends who've scattered all across the country now. I'm out in Sweden walking back through life so I can write it down. Make a living off the sound, so crazy to say out loud. I'm the biggest thing since Travis Rice to come up out the town. Sorry, gotta stunt a little. Used to have my dreams belittled, but it's all a part of it. I know people's minds are fickle, lines between reality and dreams I blur like faded nights. Come up been so good for me, I wish that I could make it twice.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you. What up, Pops? Hey, shout out to everybody for being here tonight. It is Wednesday. It's hump day. Hump day, hump day. Mike. Hump day. Thank you guys for being here. We're about to rock it. Hey, we're going to get into this real quick as fast as we can. We know the deal. What's going on in the world of sports? First thing I want to talk about, Nick Chubb signing, or as you were, Nick Chubb being injured and probably out for the rest of the year. It's unfortunate. His injury was horrific. Please watch the replay if you have a strong stomach. It is right up there with the Kevin Ware incident. If you don't remember, Kevin Ware's shin bone came shooting out of his shin in the middle of a basketball game, and we all saw it, and we didn't want to see it. In the same frame of mind, Nick Chubb going down, and it's brutal. Now, the Browns go and sign Kareem Hunt, and former leading rusher in the NFL back in 2017. I don't agree with this signing. I think Kareem Hunt's not a good running back anymore. Kareem Hunt led the league in rushing. He outrushed Todd Gurley and Le'Veon Bell. That's how long ago it was. It was Todd Gurley and Le'Veon Bell that he outrushed. He's been slower ever since. He's not been the same guy. Last year, he averaged less than 4 yards a carry, 3.8 yards a carry, 400 yards rushing. I would give a rookie with a little bit of burst a better chance. I would give guys on a practice squad more of a chance. I would not do this, but they gave him $2.5 million. It's the Browns. They don't know. They're paying a guy who can't make it through a massage session $230 million. Like, they don't know what they're doing as a franchise. More power to them, right? And the biggest story that's coming out right now this afternoon is defensive coordinator Alan Williams has resigned. This is a man who's been coaching in the NFL over 20 years. He resigned, and he came up with some BS story about why he resigned, right? It's right here. He's got this paper, and he says, I'm resigning due to my health. I need to get myself better, all this other stuff. Dude, don't give me this shit. Don't give me this. The FBI raided Alan Williams' home and the facility, okay? Let me explain something to you guys. I've worked with the FBI. I've worked at the NSA for the last 10 years. I'm a cyber expert. I have 5 SAN certs. Go look that up. I have 5 GIAC certs right now active. I've been a certified ethical hacker. I've been a Sec Plus, Net Plus, Cisco router, CCNA. I've done everything you can ever do. I used to work NSA Red Team. I've been a cyber expert for the majority of my adult life. And before that, I did 12 years in military intelligence. And in all my years of doing this job, crimes committed on a computer can really get the attention of the FBI. And I need you guys to know that this one catches my attention for a couple of reasons. First, Peanut Tillman. Shout out to Peanut Tillman. If you guys don't remember him, Peanut Punching. Tillman is now an FBI agent, which is really cool. But it's unfortunate because they had Tillman notify the Bears that, hey, you're going to be raided. You're going to get raided. And the facility was raided. And everybody's like, well, if the facility was raided, how did that work? How does that work? Well, let me tell you guys how this works. We had this guy that was getting, he was on leave. He was away. He was on vacation. And when he was on vacation, his room had a banana peel on the floor. I might have been a private. I think it was a private or a specialist at the time. And it had a banana peel on the floor. And First Sergeant came to the formation and said, who the hell let this guy leave on leave without cleaning his room? Everybody needs to go and clean the room. Somebody on TikTok just asked, is there a way to rewatch the lives? Yes. YouTube has live streams. You go to the YouTube page, you click on live, and you click and you see all the shows. How do you guys not know this? This is where you watch all the lives. You go to YouTube and you watch the lives. That's what it's for. That's why it's called a podcast. But we had this guy on leave, and First Sergeant says, who let him leave? My squad leader, my platoon sergeant raised their hand. First Sergeant says, I want you guys to go in there and clean his room. So we thought we were going to teach him a lesson. We went out, and we went to go teach this kid a lesson. He's on leave. Remember, he's on vacation. I think he was 8 or 9 states away. And we went to his room, and we decided we're going to take his room and take everything out of his room, and we're going to throw it all in a locker downstairs. He lived like on the 3rd floor. So we're going to carry everything down, and there's like a group of us, like 10 of us. And we're going to throw everything in this locker downstairs. And then when he gets back from leave, he'll have to clean everything and bring it all upstairs by himself. So we're boxing up all his shit. And this is like 2003 time frame. People bought pornography back then. People bought porn DVDs. And this guy had probably used half of his paycheck on pornography and magazines. And you know what? You're a lonely guy in the Army, and he was an unattractive dude who's a fat dude. And we got it. Like, okay, this is what you're doing. We got girlfriends. We got women everywhere. But this is what you're doing. We're not mad at you. We just thought it was funny. So we said, you know what we'll do? We went into his wall locker. We opened it, and there was a little Care Bear. There's a little Care Bear stuffed animal in the wall locker. We thought, oh, man, what the hell does this 19-year-old guy have a Care Bear for? That's ridiculous. So we grabbed the Care Bear, and we put all his porn on the bed in a big, neat pile. We stacked it really neat, like if we were building a pyramid, right? And we put the Care Bear on top. And nobody had camera phones back then. No one had anything. I mean, this was a long time ago. We might have even had pagers. And I just remember we put the Care Bear on top, and we just started laughing. Like, he'll come into his room and know that we saw all of his porn. And we saw all of his Care Bears, and we just thought it was a cute touch. And as we're leaving the room and we're taking everything out of the room, we find this blue binder. I want you to think of like an old, a 1-inch binder. And when we opened the binder was navy blue. And if you opened it, every page, you go into every page, and it's 8x10 photos face-to-face. 8x10 photos face-to-face where you can't see either one. Like, it's document protectors, and you turn in each page. And it's just white. Everything's white. Everything's white. But as soon as you reached in there and pulled the photos out, these 8x10 photos, it was pre-pubescent girls. We're talking 7 to 10-year-old girls. And we freaked out. Holy shit. We're like, what the hell do we do? We put everything back in the binder. We freeze. We look at each other. And I can remember the platoon sergeant, who at that time, to me, the platoon sergeant is the main guy in charge. He knows everything. Looking back, he knows nothing. Looking back, I'm a master sergeant today. I'm a first sergeant. I would look at my platoon sergeants. They don't know anything. And they need guidance, right? They're very experienced. Don't let me say they don't know anything. And sure enough, I can remember the platoon sergeant saying, stop. And he goes downstairs, and he goes to first sergeant's office. He was at the bottom floor. And he goes to first sergeant's office, and he says, First Sergeant, what do? We just found this. And he hands him the binder. First sergeant just yells, what the F? He's freaking out. He's going off. This kid's not there right now. And first sergeant says, everybody out of that room. And we throw the binder back in the room, and everybody out of that room. And we all told, go home. But what did we just see? Well, at 4 in the morning, the next day, the commander directs and requests a health and welfare inspection from the MPs. So he says, I believe I have drugs and contraband in my building, and I would like you to help us inspect this building for drugs and contraband. So the dogs come out, the MPs come out, and this is a command thing where the commander says he wants to do this. So now they go and search every single room in the building, and they're looking for knives, guns, drugs, everything. But they did this because they knew what was in that room. There was no probable cause. They knew, right? Well, there's nothing probably about it. And when they did it, they discovered the child pornography this way. And I can remember they sat us all down, and they started wanting to know why the room was in the condition it was in, because it wasn't the way he had left it. You can't search someone's room without them being present. The fact the kid was on leave, well, we just had the master key. We all got in. Everybody searched it. They found it. Oh, my God. So they waited for him to get back from leave, then they arrest him. But once he gets his attorney, they come to find out, hey, man, they found this shit illegally. We were in his room illegally. We didn't have a right to search and seizure. We didn't have a right to go through his things. This was all found illegally. Dude, they couldn't charge him. But the craziest thing is they went to work where we worked. And CID, the Criminal Investigative Division, searched all the computers at work. And we thought that was weird. And the reason they searched the computers at work is because they couldn't find any child pornography on this guy's computer. He used LimeWire and Kazaa back then. He was using file sharing. But they couldn't find anything on his computer inappropriate. Not once, not even prefetch files, which is like a remnant from when you download something, whether or not you opened it or double-clicked it, you create something called a .pf, a prefetch file. They couldn't find it. And they were like, how did he get these pictures? They went to work, and they found the work computer. And if you went to the back of the tower on the work computer, it had a NIC card, a network interface card, NIC, a NIC card. It had a NIC card that was using dial-up. This is mind-boggling to me because we were at that time, we're on like 56.6K, right? We're on DSL, or we were on some type of faster internet. It wasn't fiber, but it was definitely Cat5 and with Category 5 cable, right? So you got an 8-pair cable, but nobody looked at the back of these towers at work. This kid had installed dial-up NIC cards right next to the normal card. So when you're plugged into the network at work, it's monitored by, we have a ton of enterprise defense mechanisms, firewalls, all this stuff. You can't get to certain websites when you're at work, right? At least not in the military. But what happened was he would go at lunch. We would all leave the building, go to lunch. He would lock the door, and he would switch the network to the phone. And he would do dial-up. And when you do dial-up, you get a new IP address every single time. You do not have static IPs. It's dynamic. It changes every single time. That's the nature of dial-up. We didn't know this workaround at that time. I wasn't a cyber expert at the time. So the protocol that he used to circumvent the firewalls was so archaic and so old-fashioned that nobody even knew to look for it. And this was 2003. He was able to download one photo every 20 minutes or so. And it would take 20, and then he would print it out at work. He would put in the parchment paper or whatever print paper he had. He would put it in, and it would come out to this beautiful photo. And that's what he would do. He would come to work, print off one photo at lunch every day, and then he would go. So, false IP addresses have leases on them. No. Georgia Pine. This is 2003. Not today. I'm talking about 2003. We didn't have releases and DNS and all these different things. We couldn't flush IP tables. It wasn't tracked by MAC address or IP address. I'm trying to explain. I'm a cyber expert, bro. Like, I work for the NSA. That's what I've been doing for 20 years. Like, you don't have to tell me false. You don't know what you're talking about. No, stop. I do this. I'm a forensicator. Like, I can go to court right now and testify as a forensics expert on cyber. This is what I do. Please. So I'm telling you that this happened, and this man was able to get away with it because we found everything illegally. All we could do was bar him from re-enlistment. We could not arrest him. They wouldn't send him to jail because we found everything illegally. We stumbled onto it without them knowing, and they couldn't prove that it ever took place at work or on this, that, the other. They didn't know who planted the binder. He said it wasn't his. We couldn't prove anything. And the young man served the rest of his time in the military. He did 3 more years, and then he went out and he lived his life. So my point of this is telling you guys this, that when you start seeing raids at work and you start seeing raids at home, the common denominator there is your computer. The common denominator there is the individual employee, but your conduct on a computer. And that's what's concerning to me with this individual, with Allen, right? With Williams here. And so I don't care. They said that coach cried, right? They're saying coach cried right here, head coach. I'm sorry, Matt. Hey, can we make sure she's not doing anything? Yeah, I'm sorry. And that they started crying once they were told that they were going to be raiding everything. You lose your job. You did some terrible shit. He says he's got to get his mind right, his health right. Look, man, if you're harming children, terroristic threats, or drugs, those are the only 3 things the FBI is involved with. I can't think of any other reason the FBI would raid a team facility and your home. This is bad news, guys. And to the people in the chat saying, this is fake news, this didn't happen. Yeah, it happened. It happened. I checked about 13 suitable places before I reported it. 13 reputable net news places. 13. I went over a dozen. So, that being said, change the subject here. Yeah, shout out to Peanut Tillman for having a job. Today is the Big 12. All you guys on TikTok, we're not talking. You're not talking to me. You're talking to yourselves in a tunnel. Because I only talk to YouTube, the followers who move over to YouTube. Like it on the way in. Subscribe, all that other good stuff. We need to be on YouTube. That's where we get paid for live streams. Shout out. We got 100 people over here. You 200 are in the wrong stream. I will not be reading your comments or responding to you at all. Just so you know. If you need to get your question in, your comment in, you need to get over here and get it in as soon as possible, as fast as possible. But let's go over the games that are coming up this week. We're going to start with the American. If you look at the American Conference, SMU at TCU, first thing I'm going to tell you guys is SMU is greatly improved by the transfer portal. Preston Stone's a hell of a quarterback. He's a Texas kid. He's a great asset. But SMU looks really good to me. And obviously TCU's defense looks anemic. That 3-3-5 defense ain't it. But they're giving me a spread. I want to say it's something out there, and I won't go into detail any more than that. I just like SMU. Next game, 2 pillow fights, like 2 terrible teams. Tulsa does not have a quarterback. Northern Illinois hardly has a team. They're telling me Northern Illinois is the favorite. Congrats. Looks like one of the worst games on Saturday. It's even going to be difficult for me to watch, and I'm going to watch every game. But my goodness, when I watch the replay, I'll be disappointed. I have Temple getting blown out by Miami. Miami's going to go in there. E.J. Warner, Kurt Warner's son, is a gunslinger. He throws the ball like crazy. He's a great passer, but he's going to throw some interceptions. Miami's defense, their secondary specifically, I think it's the best in America. Florida Atlantic just lost their quarterback for the entire season. Casey Thompson's injured. They still have a 1,000-yard rusher in Larry McCamick III. He rushed for 1,000 yards last year. Hard to get the ball rolling right now. They did lose their top receiver, Jamal Edrin, transferred to Purdue. He tore his ACL. He's out for the year as well. So a lot of Florida Atlantic guys are fragile and not getting it done. I believe Illinois is going to get in the win column finally. They're going to look good in this game. Shout out to Luke Altmaier. Go do your thing. Congratulations. UTSA looks terrible this year. It's an unfortunate thing to say. They do not look good. And a lot of people in the preseason were telling me this was their upset week. This is the week they're going to beat Tennessee. No, it's not. Tennessee does not look good, but they look better than UTSA. So that's a tough game for the Roadrunners going to Tennessee. Rice at South Florida. Sneaky good game. I don't know what the over-under is on this game. Rice in South Florida, but I'm telling you, oh, there it is. Over-under is 58.5. Yeah, makes sense. I still take the over on that. 58.5. Rice and South Florida are going to both be able to score. They're telling me Rice is the favorite by 2.5. It makes sense. Rice has looked really good with JT Daniels, but both teams are scoring an insane amount of points, more than you would think. I'm impressed, but I think Rice wins that game. Gardner-Webb in East Carolina. East Carolina is going to finally win a game. East Carolina is really bad. They're 0-3. They got a good quarterback. Go watch Mason Garcia play. He's a good player. Charlotte at Florida. I like the game. I know Florida's winning. That's fine. But Charlotte at Florida, if you ask me, right, let's go here. Florida. Let's find the next listing. Charlotte at Florida, 27.5 points. Says it's plus 100 for Charlotte. Feels like a good bet. I think Charlotte can cover the spread. I think Florida's not as explosive as people understand. Like, Florida's scored 20 points in a quarter against Tennessee, and they've done nothing else every other quarter. Against Tennessee, they did nothing the first quarter, the third quarter, or the fourth quarter. They did nothing against Utah, and they did well against McNeese State, but everybody's blown out McNeese State. McNeese State is one of the worst teams I've seen on tape outside of Bethune-Cookman. So I just feel like Charlotte's going to be here in this game, and they're good enough to score points if you call off the dogs. So if you call off the dogs late, they can accidentally cover that spread. They can backdoor it in the fourth quarter. So I like Charlotte, but, Florida can go out there and exert their dominance and make themselves look like a top 25 team. More power to them. Congratulations. Do it. Nicholls State and Tulane, there's nothing to talk about there. Nicholls is not beating Tulane, and I don't know the spread. UAB and Georgia should not be discussed. UAB just got destroyed by Louisiana. Georgia's going to look good against them. Missouri and Memphis, really excited about this game. I made a TikTok about this earlier today. I feel like the over's in play here. Memphis, Seth Hennigan's a good quarterback. He's got good weapons. Missouri can take the top off of a defense. They tell me Brady Cook's hurt this week. If he's hurt, that hurts Missouri's chances of blowing out Memphis. But it's still going to be a 14-point game max. What'd they give Missouri in this game? They gave them a spread that they can handle, right? What is it? I've seen this line so many times. Pardon me. 6.5. So 6.5, not even a touchdown. Don't you think Missouri's better than Memphis by 6.5? It feels that way, even with a backup quarterback. But I really like the way Memphis scores. That's why I like the over. That 51.5 doesn't impress me. I feel like everybody's going to be able to score in this game. We'll see what happens. Maybe Memphis just shuts them down. Missouri just shuts them down. But I didn't see Missouri dominate Middle Tennessee State. I watched the tape, 21-19. It just didn't impress me at all. And, I think the over's in play. Oklahoma and Cincinnati. Cincinnati's obviously disappointed. They went ahead and lost. No one saw that coming. No, they were on the verge of being ranked, and they didn't get it done. They lose in overtime to Miami of Ohio. That just goes to show you cannot overlook an opponent because you're getting excited for your Big 12 opener against Oklahoma. Well, here it is. Oklahoma's going to travel up to Cincinnati. Oklahoma has a solid team. They look explosive. I think they're getting an insane amount of points. Yeah, it's 14.5. That sounds like a lot to me. It really does. But Cincinnati, man, they look very disappointing. We'll see. 14.5. I think you got to learn more about these teams in that game and stay away from it. Just watch it and learn. I already talked about SMU and TCU. BYU, Kansas, that's MVP status. Texas Tech at West Virginia. Somebody's got to win that game. I think Texas Tech is the best 0-3 team in the country. Are they 0-3 or 0-2? They're 0-3? Did they finally win a game? What did Texas Tech do? I apologize. Got to double-check their record. Yeah, they won. They beat Tarleton State. Calm down. So they still don't have any FBS level wins. They're a good team. They're a good team. They look better than West Virginia on film, on paper. They really do. Let me see what it says. 6.5. It sounds right. I like the over in that game. I don't think anybody can stop anyone. Texas Tech's defense has left a lot to be desired, but West Virginia's a run-oriented offense. I probably don't like the over. I probably don't. 54.5? Nah, I think they're going to hit each other. Talk about the under right here. Oklahoma State, Iowa State. Both teams are anemic on offense. They're not very good. It's gross. And Sam Houston has a great defense. Remember, they held BYU to 14 points, 14-0. Houston's going to have trouble with Sam Houston. They want to win that game. It's a rivalry game. Sam Houston wants to win for recruits. They want to prove that they can hang at this level. It's your chance to win a game in state. Go do your thing, Sam Houston. Good luck. I think Sam Houston's a better team when it comes to like camaraderie and doing all the right things. I really feel that way. Texas and Baylor. Texas should win this game handedly. Baylor's in shambles. They're using a backup quarterback. Sawyer Robertson cannot play the game of football. If Shapen's back, congrats. But Texas just needs to win this game and get it done. I'm really intrigued by UCF and K-State. I just think that UCF is sneaky good, and no one's paying them respect. Shout out to K-State, though. They shouldn't have lost that game, man. They lose on a 61-yard field goal. You can't hold it against them. They just don't have any receivers to take it off the top, right? You got to take something off the top of the defense. So those are the games coming up. Like I said, I go really in-depth with the MVPs, break it down, and then give them all their stuff. And I'll keep making videos throughout the week where I talk about these games, certain matchups. If you see a video on TikTok, that's a grade B lock, meaning I believe what I'm saying in that video to be true. It is not one of my MVP locks. If you hear me skip over it here in chat, it's because it's an MVP lock and I won't mention it. It's just a privilege to my MVPs. Shout out to everybody for being here in the chat. I'm moving over to the chat now. We have 116, 150 here. Listen, you guys, thank you for being here, but you're not getting me paid at all. I don't get anything from this. All you need to do, click on the link, go to YouTube, search Rico Knows, join the live stream. If you want to watch all my past live streams, all you got to do is go watch them. They're on the live streams. You just hit live on the tab on the homepage at YouTube. You can see all the past live streams. Today we're talking about only the Big 12. Only questions should be Big 12 or American Conference, right? Those are the only people I'm going to be talking about. Remember, RicoKnows.org. That's where you get the merch. And to become an MVP, I'm going to make it clear now. To become an MVP, you go to the homepage. You select Join. That's it. Now, if Join doesn't show up, if it doesn't populate, it's because you're probably on an iPhone. Okay? You need to be on an Android, a desktop, a laptop, or you can try to use the workaround and use the Safari web browser. Go to Safari web browser and go to YouTube. Do not use the YouTube app. The YouTube app will not let you see the join button. I'm saying this now because anybody who asked how to become an MVP, I'm going to say rewind the show, right? Rewind the show till about the 28-minute mark. Rewind the show to the 28-minute mark, and you will find how to do it. Remind me, guys, 28-minute mark. Rewind the show. That's how you get it done. All right, so starting with the chat. Sharednik Williams. I apologize. Sharednik. I'm bad with first names, but Mr. Williams or Mrs. Williams, thank you. You just became an MVP. Shout out to you. T-Cost Vlogs, thank you for becoming an MVP. Shout out to you. Hope you guys enjoy the videos. T says, what up, Rico? Can't wait to hear about the Big 12 today and for all viewers, hit the like and best for the best in the business. Thank you so much, T. I believe I'm the best in this business. I believe you. Ryan Pena. Shout out to Ryan Pena. Just became an MVP. Congratulations. Connor just became an MVP. Congratulations. It's a lot of MVPs before the show starts. That's how we want to start it. My goal is 6 a day. 6 MVPs a day keeps the doctor away. Welcome into the Big 12 ACC. Make sure you hit that like button. Hey, go back and start the show over at 1.25 speed. You will catch up. Shout out to Steve. Evan Kramer, what up, Rico? Do you think Oklahoma State season spirals or do they bounce back? So, Evan Kramer, for a season to spiral, you would need to be good and then spiral down. If you're at the bottom of the drain, you ain't spiraling shit. You're just down the drain. Oklahoma State, before the season started, I wanted to say they were only going to win 3 games. And then I went to say that, and as I looked at their schedule, I saw that they got all the easiest games at the end of the year. They have all the new teams on their schedule. I felt like Gundy could get them through that, so I backed off, didn't say they're only going to win 3 games, and I said Gundy's going to get them to 6 wins. I feel this way. And now I'm sitting here going, dude, these guys are terrible. They are awful. And as bad as they are, they still beat Arizona State. So think about that. It makes you wonder. Like, I think SMU's better than Colorado. Talent-wise, when you line them up, I think SMU's better than Colorado. But can they beat TCU? There you go. That should tell you the truth about who's better. Right? Maybe they're not better than Colorado. Maybe Oklahoma State's not that bad, but maybe they're not better than some other teams, right? They're not that bad. They beat Arizona State, but they suck. They're underwhelming. I don't think they bounce back. I don't think they get it together. They don't have a quarterback. What up, Rico? Keep up the good work. Shout out to you, Mark Preston. MVP. Ignore this comment if you touched on it. Yeah, I touched on it. Military IT expertise, sad, nasty situation. It's not sad, man. It's never sad. It's never sad when a criminal is caught. Never forget that. Legal Hustle King, don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you to you. Marquess McHugh says, what up, Top? Couldn't get MVP this weekend. Literally not an Android or non-iOS computer in sight, all while in Vegas. Still collected with the Colorado and Duke spread. Big shout out to Rico Knows, MVP for life. Shout out to Marquise. Hey, man, Marquette, I'm glad I got you paid. There's so many people out there who hit on the Colorado Duke spread and the Tulane spread. You guys took care of me. I ain't mad. Everybody always says, Rico, why don't you gamble? Dude, I'm gambling my expertise, my reputation, and the gamblers are getting me back, bro. They get my get back. I'm not worried about it. One guy wrote, man, Rico was really sucked on his picks this week. Did I? Or did you suck picking the wrong ones? I picked 12 games, got 6 of them right, 6 of them wrong. It happens. But there's some people who picked 4 of those locks that I picked, and they hit on all 4 on a parlay, and they went and had steak. Shout out to them. Corey Free says, what up, Rico? Do you think they should give Gundy a year to see if he'll take NIL or the transfer portal seriously, or is it time for a culture change? So Corey Free, he took it seriously. He tried to be competitive in NIL and the transfer portal. He just lost. Remember, your players leave your team, they depart. I'm going to tell you guys right now, tampering's real. Tampering's real. These players who enter the transfer portal, they know where they're going. The idea that a high-end player enters the transfer portal and doesn't know where he's going is naive as all get out. Let me tell you guys that right now. I'm going to peel back the curtain a little bit. I got players in my DMs. I got players in my DMs saying, hey, Rico, when should I join the portal? When should I jump in the portal? I'm like, well, after the season, bro. Don't go now. Well, I'm really upset with my coach. I don't get the playing time. I'm 5th on the depth chart, whatever it is. I'm like, I don't care. Finish your semester. Get your classes straight. You're going to have to enter the portal before the high schoolers get their offer. He's like, okay. I said, yeah, because once the high schoolers sign on the dotted line, they take a scholarship away from you. But if you go out there, maybe your team will sign one less player out of high school. So enter the winter transfer portal. Hopefully you get picked up. If you don't, sit tight. I saw about 40 people get picked up in the spring. But let me tell you, don't jump. So I say this, and then the kid's like, well, how many offers am I going to get in the first 48 hours? What? Well, I just want to know how many offers I'm going to get. How many options am I going to have? Bro, let me reach out. Let me find out. So I send a DM to a FBS level Power 5 coach. I sent a DM last night. I want to say I was in bed about 10 p.m. I laying down. I'm watching a TV show with Kim. I shoot a text out to this FBS level coach. Now, he's in a different time zone from me, so I know he's not going to hit me back right away. He's still working. He works late nights. But I wake up this morning to his message, and it was very clear. Rico, tell that young man, do not jump in the portal unless he has a team identified wanting to take him. So how the hell does that happen? How do you listen to the recommendation? Don't get in the portal unless you know where you're going. How would you know? It's called third-party intervention. Third-party intervention. Use someone else to negotiate on your behalf. It's not tampering. The school's not talking to you. Have the school talk to a high school coach, a trainer, a family friend, a handler, a representative, whoever, but it ain't you. So the kid just keeps going to school like it's normal, but somebody else is sending the email, shopping around, sending the text message, the Twitter message, whatever it is. And the school, the coaches are corresponding with your representative, not the player. There is no tampering. This is tampering, but it's not tampering, right? This is the workaround. And that's the reality of the situation. So when I get back to that player and his family, and I say, hey, listen, don't jump in that portal till you have an answer from somebody that they want you. They're looking at me like I'm crazy. I had a FaceTime call today, and the dude's looking at me like, how is this possible? How am I going to get somebody to agree to want me before I jump in the portal? Well, there's only one way to do that. Correspondence. It's happening everywhere, guys. It's happening everywhere. So when you see Oklahoma State players jump in the portal, it's not that Gundy's not taking it serious. Those players were looking to leave before Gundy ever knew what was coming. He got blindsided. Those players were looking to leave immediately. And Gundy did the best to find what he could. But it's the analogy I told you guys. You guys ever seen somebody with a really hot wife? Seen somebody with a really attractive wife in their 20s, maybe? And then she leaves. She leaves, and that dude goes and gets a second wife a year or two later, a couple months later, I don't care when. And that second wife ain't nearly as pretty as the first one. But she'll do. She's got better wifey traits. It's more what you're looking for. I'll give you an example. When I was 18, I really liked fast cars. I wanted rims, tinted windows, a sound system, and fast cars. That's what I wanted when I was 18. And then when I was 30, I was out buying a car, and I wanted miles to the gallon, space for my kids to sit in. I wanted a larger trunk. I wanted a sedan, good, and I just wanted just other things. My criteria changed. Well, that's how it is with women, right? With women initially, you want somebody beautiful, hot, sexy, this, that, the other. And then after a while, you're like, man, I need a girl with a job. I need a woman who's faithful. I need a woman with the right head on her shoulders. I was picking the wrong demographic. I need something good over here. Your criteria changes for what you're looking for. So some people might look at it and be like, man, you can never get that baddie again. And you're like, I don't want that baddie again. I want something else. I don't want that skinny little Barbie doll. I like them thick, right? I like a woman who can cook. Just some other shit. Oh, that pretty girl don't even wipe her ass right. That pretty girl don't even clean her room. You ever been to a pretty girl's house before? You ever met a pretty girl and then you go to her house and you go use her bathroom and the counter's disgusting? And you look around and she's got dirty clothes everywhere? You're like, where the hell? What is this? I know some of you terrible I know some of you still went through with it. Trust me, I ain't above it. I once had to dodge fly traps walking through the house. She was hanging fly traps in the living room to get to the bedroom. I was dodging fly traps. Where the hell was I? Give me a second here. Gage Kawak, welcome to the MVP show. Gage Kawak is an MVP now. Access to all the videos. Shout out to you. But what I'm trying to explain to you is your demographic changes. So these young players, when they come out of high school, they all want to be at an SEC school. They all want to be on the nationally ranked teams. And then after about a couple years, they go, hold on now. I don't even like this area. I don't even like this team. This coach don't like me. I've talked to Lane Kiffin 3 times. I've talked to Coach Saban twice. He don't even know my name. And what do? Now they want to transfer. Where? FCS. Playing time. They're more worried about depth charts. They're more worried about just a degree plan. When initially it was like, well, I'm going to the league. Are you? You ain't going to the league if you're fighting for playing time at your university. There's only 32 NFL teams. There's 133 FBS teams. You can't play there. Where the hell are you going to do? You ain't the best running back at Tulsa. How the hell are you making the league? So a lot of those Oklahoma State players, they changed their criteria, what they're looking for. I watched Oklahoma State players jump in the portal, leave Oklahoma State, and go to Tulsa. You know why they went to Tulsa? Because they wanted to be closer to home, because it was more realistic to break into that too deep than the allure of the Big 12. Right? You guys got to pay attention to what's happening. We have players jumping in the portal for different reasons, not just because of NIL and not just because they hate their coach. Sometimes you're looking for a different demographic, a different type of school or woman, right? Just keep it in perspective. But Gundy's message is stale, just like Pete Carroll's is getting stale. You can only tell so many stories, and then you don't motivate the same people every time. Gundy's a man. He's 50. So you know what the deal. What up, Top? Got it. David in Arizona. Good afternoon, Rico. Would you do a top 20 transfer portal, how they did, and maybe some hidden gems at the end of the year? David in Arizona. So I ranked all the teams. I did top 20. I did top 50 transfer portal players before the season started, and I ranked every single team. If you go to TikTok, there's a playlist for it. You just got to keep scrolling to the right. There's a playlist. I ranked all the teams. And if you're talking about the players themselves at the end of the season, I'm definitely going to do it. I'm definitely going to do a top. I don't know if I'll do top 20, but I'll definitely do top 10 transfer portal players. One will be offense, one will be defense. I'll do top 10 on each side. So it'll happen. Appreciate you. Marquez says, Nevada really surprised me this weekend with how close they kept the game with Kansas. And you know what? That's why when I look at this line, and I can't talk about it because it's MVP, but the Nevada line, it's not MVP, but it's really intriguing me right now. Nevada, Texas State. We know Texas State is dominant, but Texas State is not more dominant than Kansas. They're very similar, and Nevada was able to go blow for blow. We might have thought Nevada was terrible because of how they got blown up by Idaho, but Idaho's a good team. And I'm starting to think Nevada just got their face punched in by USC. We shouldn't have judged them for that. USC's really good. Obviously, they're the number 1 team in the country, according to me. So, yeah, I was really impressed with Nevada as well. And Nevada's got good linebacker play. Remember, their head coach, former linebacker coach at Oregon. Evan Kramer says, Rayuan Lane third, been balling out for Navy, 2 pass deflections in every game along with 15 tackles, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble on the year. Yeah, a ton of stats. Does not look good on tape. Looks kind of rigid, but I hear you, Evan. Rico, you mentioned the other day how you enjoy watching Micah Parsons. Who are the game-changing defensive ends or linebackers we should watch in the FBS? Well, we're only talking about this conference. Oklahoma has a kid that I think is amazing. Texas has a kid that I think is amazing. But Oklahoma, if you guys want to see some, let me show you this. Careful. Don't want to accidentally expose my stuff. New coaching hires top 50. So Deshaun McCullough and his brother are enrolled at Oklahoma. Deshaun McCullough is a transfer from Indiana. Great player. If you want to watch a player, Oklahoma, watch Deshaun McCullough. That's your guy. To me, one of the most amazing defenders, like with potential. Watch him. Watch Nick Jackson, Iowa. He's a transfer from Virginia. He's had over 100 tackles for the last 3 years in a row. This guy is all production. He's a tackling monster. Watch him. Justin Wright, Oklahoma State. Watch him. He's a transfer from Tulsa. Great linebacker. Jaheim Thomas, Arkansas. An amazing linebacker. Worth watching. Jacob Roberts is the truth. Just had 3 sacks this week for Wake Forest. Transfer from North Carolina A&T, FBS level school. Or FCS, I'm sorry. But he's great. Jacob Roberts is good to watch. Josiah Stewart at Michigan. Keep an eye out for him. He's a transfer from Coastal Carolina. Mike Smith Jr., second in tackles for Baylor right now, was the leading tackler on Liberty last year. He's another guy to watch. Monty Montgomery at Ole Miss. He's a good linebacker. He's just in the rotation. Anthony Goodlow. I'm sorry. Where's he at? Oklahoma State. Transfer from Tulsa. Yep, he's there. I'm just thinking out loud. Joe Anderson. He was the number 1 solo tackler in the FCS. Plays for Buffalo right now. Doesn't look good. They're not looking good. Omar Spites, linebacker at LSU. He just transferred from Oregon State. Jeremiah John Baptiste, linebacker, just transferred from UCF to Ole Miss. Good linebacker. Isaac Ukwu, great defensive end, transferred from JMU to Ole Miss. These guys are all in the rotation, though. Maui Goa at Miami, looks good. Transferred from Washington State, playing with his brother. Keep watching him. Jack Sullivan transferred to USC from Purdue. That's a defensive end. Gilbert Edmond, stud, USC, South Carolina, to, is he at Oregon? Yeah, he's at Oregon. It's tough to memorize all this, but I'm with you guys. Ernest Hausman looks like a beast at Michigan. Fisk at Florida State looks good. Jordan Birch at Florida State looks good. This is one of my favorite hidden gems. Oluwase Omadiyosho or some shit like that. I can't even say his name right. I just call him O-O. He's a transfer from Wyoming to Oregon State, and I believe he's the best hidden gem no one talks about because coming out of high school in Houston, nobody recruited Houston properly with COVID. He's a great player. So those are all the guys that stick out to me. Ahmed Walker at SMU. He's a linebacker. Watch him. SMU just has a lot of talented players in the linebacker spot. So that's everybody that sticks out to me from the transfer portal that I think people should be paying attention to. There you go. It's all off the top of my head, bro. Great question, though, Stephen Guyatt. I appreciate you. Shout out to Jordan Venerable. Just became an MVP. Congratulations. Thank you guys for being here. If you're watching the show, just leave the show real quick. Go hit the like button and then come back in. We only got 48 likes. We got over 100, 200-something people watching. Just move on over and let's do it. Somebody just asked me thoughts on Demario Davis. What kind of ridiculous question is that? That's my hidden gem for the NFL draft. What is wrong with you? I talked about him for months. Go watch the content. Cameron Vasquez, shout out to you for being an MVP. Congratulations, Cameron. Willie Bobo says, Willie Bobo says, what up, everyone? It's your boy, Willie, reminding everyone about our merch, ricoknows.org. Yes, there you go, ricoknows.org. Come go get some merch. These guys all want me to make this shirt. Here it is. Seth wants this shirt, and he wants it bad. Who's starting the petition for the Anthony Richardson Could Never t-shirt? The Anthony Richardson Could Never t-shirt. Hashtag Rico Knows on the back. That's a smooth-ass shirt, y'all. Casey Anderson says, hey, Rico, how did KU turn their football program around, seeing it has always been a basketball school? So, yeah, it's always been a basketball school. So the first thing KU did was hired Leopold, their head coach. He came down from Buffalo. And when he came down from Buffalo, he brought some pieces with him, found the right people, okay? But they have used the transfer portal to flip their roster. And I watched them this offseason get rid of one guy and get an upgrade. Get rid of one guy and get an upgrade. And they've been hitting the MAC really well. It's pretty impressive. Because he came from Buffalo, he had a lot of respect for certain MAC programs. And they were able to get some linebackers from Bowling Green or some players from the MAC that you normally wouldn't see. And why would they be prized recruits and transfers? That's what he did. He utilized the MAC. He doesn't have to compete with anybody. Nobody's really pulling players out of the MAC like that except for him and UCLA. And pretty good stuff. Leopold's a good coach. You take the proceeds from a bowl game, right? You go to a bowl game, you lose in triple overtime to the SEC, fine. But you went to a bowl game, and that probably got you enough revenue in your recruiting budget to go out there and start winning some of these recruiting battles. But at the end of the day, he's just coaching really well. I like what KU's doing. They're good for 7. Yo, DJ, can I get a drum roll for all our newest MVP? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shout out to you, Willie Bobo. I'm not the drummer. You're the drummer, bro. Seth says, are there any games on the schedule where you go, if Neil Brown can win this, we might have something? Yeah, I like the backyard brawl win. I like the win over Pitt. Beat up Pat Narduzzi, man. Put that dude on a hot seat. F Pat Narduzzi. Yeah, I like what Neil Brown did just this last week. That'll keep your job. We might have something. The problem is he doesn't have the quarterback. We might have something. He's got good players. They're well coached. They're doing fine. Quarterback's rough. Sam Dunn says, Rico, Mac Jones for MVP. Okay. MVP of what? The scout team? Rico, do you think OU has a good chance of beating Texas? Yeah, if they play each other, that's a pretty good chance. That's how I feel. Yep, for sure. Audrey Blazin. Hey, Rico, what up, Audrey? You guys don't know, Audrey is from Long Island. She likes long walks on the beach. She probably likes Long Island iced teas. No, Audrey Blazin is a day one. She's been with me well before I had 1,000 subscribers, 1,000 followers. Audrey is one of the very first people that's ever interacted on my channel. Haven't seen her in months. Congratulations. Good to see you, Audrey. I hope you're still here. You wrote that comment probably an hour ago, but it's all good. Shout out to you, girl. One of a kind. This weekend's college football games are good. All the games are good. How do I join MVP? Bob Ritchie, rewind the show. That's how you become an MVP. It was explained. Go to the 28-minute mark. Chubb works so hard. Hate it for him. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Yo, you're killing me. Mike. Chubb injured, was the same knee in college. Yeah, it never gets better, and it looks terrible. Rico, looking at the BYU-KU, pardon me. BYU-KU, what do you think? BYU pulls this one off. Also, do you think SMU's defense stifles the TCU offense? J2 to the B, you are asking MVP-level questions. I will not discuss those games unless you're an MVP member, and we do that in private. Go watch the videos. Sorry. Bob, if you have an iPhone, there isn't a link. You have to use Safari or a computer to access your YouTube. There will be a sub button there. It says join. You can sub at any time. You can subscribe at any time. Join is the other story. Troy Stewart, did you see the video of Matt Campbell wanting to attack a fan? I did. I feel like the pressure of the hot seat is getting to him. You think that was a hot seat? I think the losses are getting to him. The losses. Thanks, Kim. Sent a Cash App. I'll join later. Gotta run. Word. Shout out to Gata Irk. Hey, look at this. Congratulations. Isaiah Mateo, now an MVP. Isaiah Mateo, I hope you enjoy the content and you win huge this weekend. Don't forget where you found it. Congratulations, brother. Go win big. Do you think UCF's rushing threat causes K-State to play a lot of man defenses this week, allowing for UCF to air it out against them? So UCF doesn't necessarily have a rushing threat. They have a dual threat quarterback that, stretches the chains. With JRP not being able to go, Timmy McClain's going to be there. He's also a dual threat quarterback. The fact that you're using a backup quarterback tells me they're going to load the box. So you're gonna force Timmy McClain to beat you. That's why K-State's going to load the box, okay? And can he do it? We'll see. It doesn't look good. Doesn't look good for UCF. Nico. Who's Nico? I'm Rico. Thoughts on how Marichal performs this week? Heard bad things from people in Morgantown on and off the field. Oh, my goodness. Don't know, Bobby Albright. Haven't heard anything like that. Not sure how it's going to work out. Who's West Virginia playing again? Calm down, Ash. It ain't nothing but to do. Come on, Ash. Is it not here? What's up? I put in Virgin. West Virginia's not here? That's weird. They don't have a line for him. That's weird. Sorry about that. I forgot who it was. North Texas season predictions. Do they go to a bowl game? Caden, you were not asking about an American team. Is North Texas in the American? Did they move to the American? Am I tripping? Or are they still Conference USA? Oh, they are. They are American, huh? Well, let's go. Why am I tripping? Okay, thank you for the question. North Texas season predictions, do they go to a bowl game? They changed conferences this offseason. What's wrong with me? Well, they've lost twice. They beat La Tech. They barely beat La Tech. But they've been scoring 30 points a game, essentially. They're going to beat Abilene Christian. They're going to beat Temple. So that's 2. So they have 3 wins at that point. They got to beat UTSA, Tulsa, and UAB. There's a chance. There's a chance they win 6. But if you asked me before the season, I had, where are they at? North Texas only winning 4 games. I think they win 4 games. That's what I had at the beginning of the season right there. I have my prediction of 4 wins for North Texas. Can't make it up. It's what happened. I got 4 wins for them, 4 for, and then Tulsa at 5. That's not going to happen. FAU at 5. That's not going to happen. I had no idea these teams were going to fall apart like this. All right, who did I get wrong? Texas State at 4. They might win more than that. They might win more than that. South Florida already has a win, right? Did South Florida win a game? I might be wrong already. We'll find out. Thank you for the question. Good afternoon, Rico. At the gym, so I won't get to watch till later, but had to drop by. Shout out to you, Break, and get your workout in. TD Florida 2 says, what's up, Rico? FAMU was able to put up 24 against Florida, against South Florida. And they held Alabama, to 17. FAMU didn't. South Florida did, right? Was it USF game plan or Alabama or the rain? It was a little bit of both. It was the rain. It was Alabama keeping it simple, not wanting to give any tape away, right? Before the Ole Miss game, they didn't want to give away anything, so they kept a simple game plan and let other people try out for the quarterback position. It was a throwaway game to them. They weren't worried about it. USF's defense isn't that great. It's not, unfortunately. Thoughts on Oklahoma? I think they have the potential to make the playoffs and even the championship game. Yeah, I had them winning 11 games. I was really high on Oklahoma before the season. I talked about it. I made many videos about Venables should have a good season, and they should. Let's see if they can keep winning. They look great. What up, Rico? What up, Vlogs? Yeah, I'm an embedded engineer, and I hate this network shit. What do you want to see from Texas Tech moving forward? Offensively, more running the running backs. Yes. Austin Davis. Yeah, I want to see them running backs. I want to see them throwing the ball to wide receivers. Why is Tyler Shuck running the ball so much? I don't know. Why are they calling design quarterback draws? He's not a dual threat quarterback. Don't get him hurt. Throw the ball to Dre McCray. Throw the ball to anybody else and let the running backs do their jobs. It just feels kind of weird. It feels like, so the offense coordinator is Zach Kitley, right? And Kitley is a great offensive coordinator, but it feels like he's trying to make it almost Oregon-esque or somewhere where you just have a star quarterback with nothing, and they don't have that. He's not that guy. It's weird. I don't know, man. I got to trust Rappaport. According to him, Harris Hall wasn't rated. League isn't involved, and Peanut Tillman isn't involved. Miles Weber. Okay. Shout out to Ian Rappaport. It wouldn't be the first time he's right or wrong. Either way. SOS, Rico, SOS. Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields change team. Would they still be the same? Justin Fields is trash. Jalen Hurts is not. Yes, they would still be the same. They change teams. One guy is good. One guy isn't. There's nothing else to it. Memphis will win. There you go. I like that. Memphis will win. I'm cool with that. Bothers me none. I believe in Memphis. Pardon me, chat just jumped on me. Dropping gems. Appreciate you, my guy. Thank you very much. All things Purnell. Miami isn't very good. Jacob Carroll. We might have different definitions of good. Okay? If you're saying Miami isn't very good, you might only think 10 teams in this world are good. I think Miami's good. I think there are unranked teams that are very good. My definition of very good and yours are two very different things. Air Force -2.5 against San Jose State. Falcons all the way. Congratulations. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about today. Georgia State, Coastal Carolina, hit the over. Talked about it already another day. Do you watch film on the offensive line to see if they're NFL worthy? If so, have you looked at Zach Frazier, center, West Virginia? So I do watch film on offensive linemen, but not until after the season. I don't watch it now. I don't worry about NFL draft analysis until after the season. I have a lot of time after the season. I rewatch every single game in the whole country. I have so much time that after the bowl games end, you can watch every single game again. Sometimes you can watch them 3 times. but definitely twice. And I can go back and watch the players I'm looking for. It's much easier when you want to assess a player to go back in the offseason, because then, like, let's say I want to assess West Virginia center. All I got to do is watch West Virginia on offense. I can do that in literally 20 minutes for every game. I can be done with this player's evaluation in a matter of about 3 hours. If I watch every single play, I can be done pretty quick. And then so I just go down the list and I attack each day. I'm looking at quarterbacks today. I'm looking at running backs today. And I just keep rotating like that until the NFL draft. That's how I do it. Just every single day. Just give me a different position group, and I go down the list. And once I finish about 3 or 4 guys, I go to another 3 or 4 next time. And next thing you know, here we are. It's April, and I've evaluated 40 guys at each position. I don't take any days off. It's just how I live. Kim's over there. She cooks and makes the house clean and does all those other things. I don't have to worry about none of that. That's just how I get down. Do you like Timmy McClain? I do. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a good kid. I think he's a good prospect. Surprised to see him transfer. I think South Florida misses him right now. Final record for West Virginia, Rico. Yeah. I don't know. Schedule by conference, Big 12. Let's go to West Virginia. They're looking like they got 2 wins right now. 3, 4, 5. Oh, I could see them winning 6 games and a bowl game, so 7. 6 wins sounds good to me. What if they go bowling? You guys feel pretty good about that? If West Virginia goes bowling, I like them going bowling. I got no problem with that. Final record, yep, Texas got a chance for the Natty. Sure, they're undefeated. They play in a major conference. That's all you need to do. Yep. Rico, what was your MOS? Darius Jones, I have many MOSs. When I first joined the Army, I was something called a 33 Whiskey, which was an electronic engineer repairman for military intelligence equipment. I did that, transitioned to a 35 Tango. During that time frame, I also got a secondary MOS of a 92 Yankee. I ran a motor pool. I ran an Olds box. I ordered parts and blasted to the SSA warehouse and shit. Used to do FedLog and what was it called? Preventative Maintenance Monthly. Anyways, the point is I used to do a lot of that stuff, but I was really a military intelligence guy. And then about 12 years in, and I apologize if I'm using a bunch of acronyms people don't know. I'm assuming this gentleman knows he asked MOS, so I'm going to just go full Army. At about 12 years in, I transitioned to 25 Delta, which was cyber defense for the signal field. And then I already had worked at the NSA by then. I was just doing it for nomenclature, just for a bonus. And then after about 6 months, I transitioned to a new MOS called 17 Charlie. And I'm a 17 Charlie 5 Mike. Mike meaning I've been a first sergeant for over 12 months. 5 Mike 8 Romeo, an instructor, an AIT instructor. Romeo for MRT and AIT. I'm also a PDSI, a level 4 combatives instructor. And I have a language code of Yankee Yankee, which is the default. So my 9-digit MOS is 17 Charlie 5 Mike 8 Romeo Yankee Yankee. That's my MOS in the Army. Been in the Army over 20 years. What's up, Rico? Love the content. Keep cooking. Thank you very much, Mill Road. Shout out to you. Hit the like button. Satipo Snipes. Word. I think Byron Brown is legit. Okay. He is. Need to work on accuracy, but his size and intelligence to get to the league. Whoa. I don't talk about league, but I hope he plays well. He's a redshirt freshman starting. He's got 3 more years. Give him a break. What's up, Rico? What up, Robert McNeese? What are your thoughts on Oklahoma team? I think they're great. I have them at 10 wins, but is there a chance they can win the Red River Street? Yeah, there's a chance. They're playing in it. They got a good team. There's a chance. Wonder, is that why Spencer Sanders? No comment. That's not a Big 12 question. You're saying, is that why Spencer Sanders left? That's a Big 12 question. Spencer Sanders left because he started chasing that fine-ass girl at the club. And he didn't know she gets texts from everybody. She ain't playing, you don't mind. She said, yeah, here's my number. And then you started thinking you were dating. She just gives out her number to anybody. Daquan Evans went crazy against Bama. Do you think he'll make it to the league? I don't make any assessments on the league until after the season, guys. Left. Oh, do I think that's why Spencer Sanders? Yeah, he got the number, man. He got the number. USF still has the work to do, but I love what Alex Golish is doing and Todd Orlando. Yeah, Alex Golish is killing it, bro. Culture did a full 180. Yeah, he's doing the most with less. That roster's anemic. I thought they were going to be terrible this year, and they're not. Look at, I promise you, I thought they were going to be terrible. Check this out. What did I have Alex Golish at? Look at this. Dead last, because I thought they were only going to win one game. I said he knows the recruiting grounds. He was an offensive coordinator at Tennessee. He was good, but I didn't think he was going to be able to win with that roster. Dead last. Are you kidding me? They're not. They're going to win more than one game. They're a good team. They're a decent team. They're competitive in their losses. Yeah, I was wrong. I didn't know Alex Golish could do it like that. What do you think of Kansas BYU? That's an MVP conversation. I follow the TikTok link and use that browser for MVP with an iPhone. No issues. Shout out to the Kirk. It works? Yeah. They said it populates after about 2 days.
I can access it from TikTok.
You can access it from TikTok?
If I click on your link. Yep, on your
there you go. Click on the link. So if you go up to my page, my profile, click on the YouTube link. It'll say join. Oh, snap. All these people are messing up. I swear, if I hit this weekend, I'm getting MVP. If hit this weekend, I'm getting MVP. Storm Coakley, how are you going to hit this weekend if you don't know the MVP locks? I'm confused, Storm Coakley. You don't know. So the MVP locks, I've provided an MVP sheet with, I think it's something like 36 games. And I will not talk about those games. The locks I definitely won't talk about. There's only 8 of those. The 8 locks. And then there's like 10 upsets. You don't even know what they are. How are you going to hit? I hope you hit. I hope you hit on your own. Or you're going to hit on a grade B lock? Are you going to hit on one of the locks I'm talking about on the program, like right now? Or I'm talking about on the page? Hey, congratulations if you do that. Bobby Albright. Do you think Sonny Dykes could be looking to elevate in the next few years? I know he's had one season, but crazy enough, he has probably reached his ceiling with the TCU program. So, Bobby Albright, Sonny Dykes hasn't done enough to warrant getting up any higher. He didn't do enough to warrant being any higher. I have a video I meant to make today. I didn't make it. That's on me. I'm making it right after this. And that's who should replace Mel Tucker. I have three ideas of who should replace Mel Tucker. You just reminded me to do that. I need to do my Mel Tucker video. Replace Mel Tucker. I already have the screenshots and everything I wanted to say. And then I forgot to make it because of the Bears stuff. And I was ordering HelloFresh. If you guys don't know, we eat HelloFresh around here. Shout out to us. Kim be cooking up these meals every night. What up, Rico, Ricky Rick? What up? Why is it most of the Big 12 can put points on the board and never seem to really strengthen their defense? I want to blame the defensive performance from the Big 12 on defensive coordinators. I think there's an emphasis to hire great offensive coordinators, but the great defensive coordinators are not in the Big 12. That's it. Every time you look at a team, they just have, like, you can name their head coach, and the head coach is probably a really good offensive coordinator. You can name all kinds, but they don't have great defensive coordinators. And this is why a guy like Ryan Walters should have been hired by the Big 12 and not the Big 10. But unfortunately, they kept him in the Big 10. So he leaves Illinois, goes to Purdue, and they should have went after him. But look at who they replace. All these coaches that get hired, it's always some offensive genius. They don't go hire a defensive coach. Notre Dame did, right? Purdue did. Alabama did. Georgia. Some people know what they're doing. What up, Rico? Got it. Rico. What up, Christopher Stowers? Are you related to Eli Stowers? Hold up now, the transfer. Do you see the second-tier big schools using the transfer portal a lot more? Antonio Compine. I don't know what second-tier big schools are. I don't even know what that means. Because if you ask me, the majority of the SEC is second tier, right? The majority of the SEC is second tier. The first tier is the top 3 teams in every conference. If you look at the Power 5 conferences, every conference has 3 good teams. Every single one. And people want to pretend like the next 3 teams, there's better ones in this conference or this conference, but it doesn't matter. There's only 3 good teams in every conference. Elite. Competing for a national championship. And then everybody else is just run-of-the-mill whatever. But if you want to ask me who's transferring where, these kids are all transferring to Power 5 to Power 5. Here's all the transfers from last year. By name. Here's transfers by name in the winter. And you'll notice Group of 5 to Power 5, Power 5 to Group of 5. So these are guys going up in competition right here because they're going from Group of 5 to Power 5. These are guys going down in competition, but don't get it twisted. A lot of it was people going to SMU, but still, Power 5 to Group of 5. Group of 5 to Group of 5, just kind of staying in those small schools, the second-tier teams. Power 5 to Power 5. These kids are out of touch with reality. These kids are leaving the SEC, going to the SEC. Leaving the SEC, going to Pac-12. Vice versa. They're just all staying Power 5. When you transfer, if you want more playing time, where should you go? Probably Group of 5. Probably. Very few people left FBS to FCS. Very few people went down in competition. Very few people went down to the FCS level. It used to be a normal thing when you would transfer. You would always go to the FCS level because you didn't want to lose a year of eligibility because you could play right away. But now that you don't lose a year of eligibility, you can just transfer to another Power 5 school. No one cares. So not a lot of players are going FBS to FCS. Matter of fact, twice as many players went from FCS up to FBS. You see these two columns here? I have guys going from FCS to Power 5, straight to the top. A lot of these guys are Colorado players. Travis Hunter, Shador Sanders, Cameron Sillman, right? But then you have FCS to FBS. These are guys just going to any other school, not Power 5, Group of 5. So when I look at this, and you look at these Power 5 transfers, just let me scroll. You see how you run out of names? You run out of names. The guys who went down in competition, you run out of names. But you know where you don't run out of names? When you start scrolling to that Power 5 to Power 5. Look at that. All the transfers are Power 5 to Power 5. That's all. I mean, it just keeps going. And I could have kept going, but I wanted to see it tells me what I needed to know. Is these players are transferring to other Power 5 programs because they're being sold a bag of goods, bro. Some of these kids are not playing. I had this talk about it. Who's going to regret transferring Power 5 to Power 5? And if I go down this list, I will point out guys who aren't in the starting lineup right now. Like, I can go like this and show you. Power 5 to Power 5, Taj Austin's not in the starting lineup at Colorado. He's a rotational player. So is Jabbar Muhammad, right? It's frustrating because I can't talk to these young men and tell them you made the wrong decision. I haven't seen Aaron Anderson on the field once for LSU. Jeremy Bernard's not a starting wide receiver at Washington. Now, he did the right thing. He left Michigan State to go back to home, and he's prepared to be there for many years. Trey Knox is not as impactful at South Carolina like he was at Arkansas. He's a 7-touchdown kid at Arkansas. Gets to South Carolina. He ain't done nothing. Nate McCollum's finally getting in the playing field. But as you go down this list of players, where's Sam McCall? He ain't playing. Chris Marshall kicked off the team. Dylan Johnson injured, I think. Darrell Jackson ineligible. Breedlove not playing at all. You left Ole Miss, went to Colorado. Breedlove, you should have went to the FCS. You would have been playing every single down. Right? These kids don't assess their talent properly. Bill Norton leaving Georgia, going to Arizona. He's not on the field. I don't know if Zap Licky's the punter for USC. Kobe Pace is playing. Good for him. Chief Borders playing at Nebraska. Good for him. I go down this whole list, and I'm telling you guys, Dominic Richardson's playing. Denver Harris ain't playing. Denver Harris is not playing at all. Not that I know of. He ain't getting it done the way he should. And that's my point. I can go down this list. Tommy Brockermeyer. Hey, there's a perfect one. Tommy Brockermeyer leaving Alabama because he's not out of Alabama. His twin brother was there. He transfers to TCU. He ain't starting at TCU. He transferred. Congrats. He ain't playing. Trayshawn Holden playing. Like, you guys got to Trey Mitchell's playing. But I've studied all these guys. Gone down. Vonta Bentley's not starting. Slusha got hurt. I can go down every single layer of player and tell you whether or not it was a good transfer or not. And in some cases, you just wonder. You just go like, why did you do that? Why? Or even these guys. These are the worst ones. Group of 5 to Power 5. That means you thought you could start at the Power 5 level? Tell me why you did that. Seydou Traore leaving Arkansas State. Now I don't see you anywhere because you're not eligible. Devontae Walker, not eligible. Right? It's an unfortunate situation for some of these kids. Colin Schley sitting the bench at UCLA. Why did you leave Kent State and go to UCLA to not play? You got no chance of playing. Right? Jacob Conover, you're the fourth string quarterback at Arizona State. I'm glad you left BYU. Doesn't make sense. Some of these kids get ill advisement. It's Elijah Spencer, the leading receiver at Charlotte last year. And what's he doing at Minnesota now? What's he doing? Marshawn Nealon. Well, he didn't leave. He went back. But a lot of these guys are underwhelming at their new school. Sean Tyler just lost his starting job. Sean Tyler lost his starting job to a true freshman. You're a back-to-back 1,000-yard rusher at Western Michigan. You transfer to Minnesota, and you are not starting anymore. You are not starting. You're back-to-back 1,000-yard receiver. I haven't seen Tyrese Chambers catch a single pass at Maryland. He was the leading receiver at FIU last year. It's just bad advisement. They're not talking to me. They're not asking me what they should do. Because I tell them right away, you're at the wrong school. You assess talent incorrectly. Your own talent. Shout out to OK Sooner for becoming an MVP. Congratulations. And shout out to Adam Crandall, another MVP. And Jake Pittman, 3 MVPs in a row while I'm talking. Sorry for being so long-winded. Thank you guys very much. You guys make my life possible, and I hope you guys hit with all the information we're providing. We got 45 minutes left in the show. Rico, you got to watch ETSU versus Kennesaw State. Second time I've seen this, Williams. 15-point comeback with 147 left. Talk about some ballsy calls by a coach. I'll see it. Shout out to Gage Kawakek. Amen, bro. The younger guys will learn the hard way. Shout out to you, Joe 5. Matt says, if you immediately the hottest with the gross apartment when Rico was talking, you haven't lived that life. It's all good. We got you. Listen and learn. Matt, I kid you not. You guys know toilet paper rolls? You guys know toilet paper rolls. When you get to the bottom of a toilet paper roll, it's that little cardboard thing. So that little cardboard thing needs to go in the trash. And then you grab a new roll of toilet paper. Right? How long does it take for you to go through a roll of toilet paper? If you're a guy versus a girl, I don't know. There's a difference, right? But for me, a roll of toilet paper can last a pretty long time. Now, I buy these quadruple ply fancy shit. I like nice toilet paper. You ain't touching me with I don't do no single ply shit. I want my hands getting dirty, bro. But let me tell you, I went to this girl's house once, and I walked in the bathroom, and I looked next to the toilet, and there were 9. I counted them. 9 of those toilet paper roll things on the ground, on the floor. On the floor. 9 of them. There was no trash can in her bathroom. It was cluttered everywhere. It was gross. And 9 of those things on the floor. You know how long does that take? For a girl, you're going, I don't know, a week? 2 rolls a week? I don't know what girls go through. For me, I can make it last like a month. That's 9 months for me. How long does a girl last on a roll of toilet paper? Probably a week? Kim's saying a week. So 9 weeks, 2.5 months? You got that shit on the floor for 2.5 months? I said, this is the last time I'm coming over here. I left. 3 hours after that, I left. All right. Joey Graham just became an MVP. Notice, I didn't leave right away. Alec Lucero says, what do you think is the most underrated offensive player in the Big 12? Who don't you think very highly of? I think all players are rated right where they're at. They're not underrated. They're right where I rated them. The most underrated player in the Big 12 is Dylan Gabriel. Because everybody wants him out so we can see Jackson Arnold. But I think Dylan Gabriel's clutch right now. I think he's playing lights out. Go Baylor. Okay, go Baylor. I know I missed you going over the schedule, but on Fife it has UCF 4.5. That just seems a tad ridiculous, no? You're saying, I don't know, which way do you want it to be? Which way do you want it to be? What are you saying? I'm confused. UCF's 3-0. They're using a backup quarterback. They're underdogs by 3.5, by 4.5. They're a competitive team. K-State has no team speed. Like, they have no way to beat you deep. They have to beat you up. K-State does not have a receiver to stretch the field. We've seen this. So they got to beat you up. You can load the box and say, let's go. K-State looked very underwhelming against Missouri. You like K-State to cover that spread? I don't understand what you're asking. Love you, babe. Keep up the great work. Shout out to Brian Rogers for calling me babe. It's absolutely ridiculous. Is that you, Teresa? You made a new account? Isaiah Mateo, what up, man? Isaiah Mateo, MVP. Joey Graham, I already gave you a shout out. Let LFG, please tell me you agree MJ is the GOAT. Isaiah Mateo, welcome to the MVP list. Now let me break the news to you. LeBron James is the GOAT and has been for about 5 years now. Ever since he beat a 73-win team coming back down from 3-1. Yeah, there's no comparison. That dude's career has been amazing. I won't even have it. That's not even for another day. It's a dead topic. I am not these guys on TV who argue and debate the same shit over and over and over for 10 years. J to the B. So do you do MVP only live streams at times? No, J to the B, I do not. I do MVP videos. I talk to the MVPs on videos every single day. I post videos for them every day. Troy Sorrell will cover that the chat just jumped. My bad. Everybody hang in with me. Will OU cover the spread against Cincy this weekend? It feels like they will, Troy. If they're hitting on all cylinders, they should. Cincy looked pathetic, man. Losing at home in overtime to Miami of Ohio is terrible. I loved Cincy before that. Can't trust them anymore. I feel like Ohio. If we want to take Oklahoma serious, they're going to cover that spread. Now, personally, I'm not betting that game. I want to learn more about the teams. I don't feel like I know enough about them. I got to just watch it. That's how I get down, guys. I don't bet on every game. That's crazy. I bet on 8 games. Jay Lou says, sign up to be an MVP member today. Let's go. Hope you enjoyed all the videos, Jay. I hope you watch them all. There's updates. There's a whole playlist called MVP Locks. Watch it. There's another playlist called like game breakdowns or game reviews or matchup reviews or something like that. Watch that one too. Those are the grade B locks. Those are my reviews on the grade B locks. Bobby Albright. West Virginia is +6 versus Texas Tech, Rico. Not sure why the line isn't on there. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm staying away from it. I don't know how those teams are going to perform against one another, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Do you think Danny Stutzman is a Butkus Award level linebacker? J to the B. If you guys don't know, Danny Stutzman is one of the stud linebackers for Oklahoma, and I believe he's one of the better linebackers in America. I like him a lot. Now, is he going to get the statistics to be a Butkus Award level winner? We'll see. You can't win the award not having the stats. You got to have the right stats. So be the best defender on a winning team. Be one of the best linebackers on a winning team. That's your way to get an award, right? So keep winning. Keep tackling people. It works that way. Shout out to him. Big Trust says, what's good, Rico? Everything's good. Grayson Holland, I think West Virginia is good or Pitt isn't. The answer is Pitt isn't good. Like, West Virginia is better than Pitt, but Pitt's just not good. That's that answer. Eli Parker just joined, so sorry if you went over it already, but do you think Memphis beats Mizzou if Brady Cook doesn't play? If Brady Cook doesn't play, I still think they have the weapons to score points. But, I mean, I think Memphis covers. Let's just say Memphis covers. I can't even go there. I know everybody wants to get lucky and go money line on this, but if Brady Cook doesn't play, Memphis covers. I feel more comfortable saying that than an actual win. But, you know, I think Brady Cook's good. So if you lose him, you lost a good one. Ken Davis says, does Coastal have any chance against Georgia State Thursday night? I already talked about that game, I believe. Is that an American game? I talked about it. Does Coastal have any chance against Georgia State? Yeah, they have a chance. They're playing each other. You have a chance. You're on the field. What's my opinion on Kyler Murray? He's trash, overpaid, and shouldn't be in the NFL. He's just a short little leprechaun, bro. He's not any good. AJ Marquez, do you think Quinn Ewers is limiting the Texas offense? Not at all. I think he's the reason they're any good. I think Xavier Worthy dropping passes is limiting Texas offense. Shout out to the super chat. T-Ray84, welcome back, brother. I appreciate you. Hey, Rico, quick NFL question. What do you make of Mac Jones, and should they look to give another person a chance at quarterback? So first off, there are no other options. Not unless you believe in Bailey Zappi, and I don't think he's better than Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is putting up numbers. Look, man, sometimes you're just not going to be you're not going to win the Super Bowl. Like, everybody needs to just be realistic about what they're doing here. If you don't have a quarterback in the top 15, you're not winning a Super Bowl. Like, that's not the recipe. Now, you can do it, but it's not the recipe. The recipe to win in the NFL is get a quarterback in the top 15. That's it. You can get other guys. They'll be fine, but they're going to get you to the playoffs and you'll lose. They'll be Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott. I mean, you can get quality players, but you're not getting a marquee quarterback unless you're taking one in the first 15 picks. That's where you get them. So, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Mac Jones is fine. He's not great, but they have no other options. They're doing fine. Rico, my teams are Stanford, South Florida, and I went to Ohio State. It breaks my heart to see you have Stanford and South Florida last. Jeffrey Ogaba. Jeff, I need to know, bruh. Why are those your teams? That just sounds absurd. Did you make a triangle? You looked at the United States and said, man, I really like a fucking triangle right now. I'm going to do this really obtuse, acute triangle. I'm just going to go over here and pick Ohio State, Stanford, and South Florida. Like, that's just so random. Those teams ain't got shit to do with each other. They're not all academic institutions. They're not all good at sports. They're not. What is it, bro? Explain it to me. That's weird. Joey wants Texas Tech to be defense first. Hopefully that comes to fruition. We'll see. Austin Davis, I don't think that's true. I think he's doing the best he can with what he has. I think he wants to win. There's no such thing as defense first. He's getting 5-star wide receivers in the transfer portal. I'm sorry, in recruiting. They got to win games. They got to stop people. They're not defense first. They're giving up 30 points a game. If Jerry Bohannon ever comes back from his shoulder injury, do you think Golish will start him over Byron Brown, or has Byron Brown done enough to keep the job? So, I believe Jerry Bohannon is the leader of that team. Jerry Bohannon is the reason 3 other quarterbacks transferred out of that team. Jerry Bohannon showing up from Baylor. He's talking about UCF, by the way, guys. He's a leader among men. He's older, more mature. I think he gives them the best chance to win. Byron Brown is doing a great job right now. But if Bohannon was healthy, he'd be the starter. That's how I feel. What's up, Rico? What up, Chad Davis? I'll say it again. Peyton Thorne is going to be the death of us. He's terrible. Woke up in the second half last week, but it was against Samford. Exactly. How are you asleep in the first half against Samford? I got Texas A&M by 6 this week against Auburn. Yeah, a lot more than that. Shout out OK Sooner and Adam Crandall. MVPs traded Evans and Swift for Jamar Chase. Thoughts? I guess you needed Jamar Chase. Congratulations. Chief, the starting Jack linebacker here at Nebraska, Chief Borders. Yeah, love Chief Borders. Good player. Kevin Coleman does not play in the Big 12. Jack Pittman, what up, man? Rico, Bill Norton is starting. Oh, is he starting at Arizona? Oh, snap, David in Arizona. I need to go back and pay attention. Congratulations to Bill Norton. That's my bad. Rico, was there any truth to Peanut being the one that sat down Ryan Poles? I thought it was a phone call. I don't know if it was a sit down. I thought it was a phone call. There's stories on it all over the internet. They said that was false already. There you go, Doc. That was false. Everybody's saying it's false. People are publishing the wrong shit. Okay. Welcome, Rico Knows MVP package. There you go. Bro, she was on a cleanse. I don't care what she was on. She wasn't throwing the shit in the trash, bro. It's gross. Another woman invited me to dinner. This is a true story. This was like 2 years ago. This is very recent. Maybe a year ago. No, this was 2 years ago. A woman invited me over to dinner. My father and I. She invited my father and I over for dinner. My dad did not go. He left me hanging. He was forced for me to go. He's like, oh, man, I can't go in there. Whatever it was. He went. He left. He went to Golden Corral for dinner. He left me alone in there. In this girl's apartment. And it was gross. She had her children's pissed on underwear in the living room. She had open canned food, like canned containers on the floor. like in the living room, like on the ground. You know you got company coming over. There was trash in the house and other places. Like, these people were living filthy, bro. And she smoked every day. It was gross. It was a terrible experience. I don't care what kind of cleanse you're on. Clean your house. Thanks, Kobe. Pretty crazy how fast rumors got circulated. 3 hours after that. Thoughts on OU? Think they're beasts. Chat just jumped. Sorry. Kobe, that was crazy, wasn't it? Just just because he's a Fed doesn't mean that he would be anyway involved in that case. Like, there's a conflict of interest. There you go, Doc Holliday. Daniel Henderson says, Rico, have you ever evaluated Lee Pogba? He's killing it the last 3 games. So I'm terrible with names. Pogba. I have not evaluated him in the way that you guys are asking. I assume you're asking NFL. I've watched him. I've seen him on tape, but I haven't sat down and tried to assess whether or not he's better than people in the NFL. No. Joey Graham just signed up for MVP. Let me get a shout-out for Gwinnett County. Shout out to Gwinnett County, North Gwinnett specifically, some of the best football and athletes in the country. This is a fact. They have some good teams. Shout out to Barrett Carter. Doc Holliday, we'll let the guy who used to play for the Bears investigate one of their coaches and assume he can remain objective. I don't think he was. They weren't saying he was investigating. They were just saying he was notifying. But that's a whole nother story. Long Duong. What up, Rico? Apparently you're up, Dong. Doc Holliday, LeBron James is the GOAT. How do I unsub? 1 click at a time, bro. Unsub all you want. I don't give a shit. I didn't know you were here. Matt Baston, do you give TCU any chance anymore to win the Big 12? Matt Baston, TCU? I had them winning 5 games this year. I told everybody they're not going to be ranked. Before the season started, I told everyone TCU is going to be terrible. I announced it over and over and over. People try to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. They use the transfer portal, all this shit. I said, no. TCU has no continuity. They lost their offensive coordinator. They're gross. I got them winning 5 games. And I'm being generous. Blunts on Paper Podcast. Do you think Utah's quarterback is coming back this week? It's not a Big 12 question. I made a video on it. We'll find out on Thursday. That's how I feel about it. My bad, DJ. I can't access to your VIP videos. Rewind the show and learn. It's at 28 minutes. You got to pay. You can't just get on them. You can't just click on them, bro. You click on them, you should be prompted. And it'll say, hey, you need to join to watch this. Titans at Browns, over-under is 39.5. Am I crazy for jumping on the under? Doc Holliday, I don't care what you do. That's an NFL game. All NFL games are a coin toss. There is no rhyme or reason to them. Jab says, do you think Oklahoma's defense is legit? I do. I think it's nice. I think they're athletic. I like them. What I saw against SMU, they looked good. So, yeah, I like them a lot. Mac Jones is serviceable compared to the rest of the roster. The roster is bad and has been for 34 years. Yep. They've got pieces, but they're too lean at skill positions. And, yeah, they're always trying to find a bargain skill position player. They don't have anybody good. They're just not good. Bean and Rice, YT, White. Hey, Rico, don't know if you've talked about it yet, but thoughts on Texas's defense, one of the most talented defenses in America. Pound for pound, when you look at Texas players and you assess the talent of the individual players, Texas has a very talented defense. Like, they're good players. If we had tryouts tomorrow, you might pick Texas guys to be your starter. That's how good they are. If Dylan Gabriel gets hurt at any point this season, do you think Jackson Arnold is talented and poised enough? Yes. J2B, yes. I think he's a very good quarterback. I'm in his corner all day. Jeffrey says, Rico, I grew up in Tampa, down the street from USF, and my dad taught there. Oh, you're one of those kids. Your dad's a professor? Dude, this silver spoon dude doing in my chat, bro. My sister went to Stanford. Oh, my God. This is one of these damn preppy kids. Same year as Andrew Luck, so I love them. And I went to Ohio State to walk on for baseball. He walked on. That means he paid for school. Dude, this guy's a rich kid. Get this dude away from me. Jeffrey, rich as hell, bro. Out here swimming in dough. You ain't struggled a day in your life, Jeffrey. I bet you hate Little Caesars Pizza. I bet you hate Little Caesars Pizza, Jeffrey. I know it, man. I can see it. He got his nose in the air, bruh. Shout out to my sister. She was second team All-American for Stanford in volleyball. Uh-oh. Any girls playing volleyball, they got that donk. What up, girl? She a setter? Set me up. Okay. Do you know who Dylan Lobb is? Yes, I do, Jack. Thank you for asking. Thoughts on the Kansas BYU game? That's an MVP conversation. Not going to happen. Steve Talbot says, Willie taking down the chocolate tower at the Golden Corral. Dude, he ain't taking down no Golden Corral chocolate tower. I don't even know about no chocolate tower. I go to Golden Corral. I go for breakfast. I go for breakfast on the weekends. It's an amazing breakfast. Everything else is whack. I'm never going there for dinner. I'm not eating there. They serve breakfast on the weekends. You guys got to, hey, hear me out. I'm not getting paid for this. Just letting y'all know, service announcement. Golden Corral on the weekends for breakfast, on point. Love your channel. You brought me to the light. Shout out to you, RP. Thank you for being here. I love your support, man. Hey, Justin Fields is now blaming coaching for his poor play. T-Ray84, shout out to you for the super chat. This is absurd. Justin Fields is blaming coaching for his poor play. Justin Fields just threw his coach under the bus. Bro, you ain't the franchise quarterback. We're getting rid of your ass. That's why we traded back last year. We wanted more picks because we got to be able to move up this year to go get Caleb, Drake, anybody else. Justin Fields is not an NFL quarterback. I've been saying it all off season. I'm not new to this. I said this shit for months, and everybody thought I was crazy back in February when I was saying it. And here we are. That dude's terrible. I'm letting you know. Shout out to Daniel Henderson. Daniel Henderson, shout out to you, brother. Just sent a super chat. I messaged you on TikTok, but Justin Fields is trash. Start Tyson Bagent. Oh, my goodness. From Division II to starting. I bet Tyson Bagent ain't blaming the bad coaching. I bet Tyson Bagent ain't blaming bad coaching. Justin Fields doesn't even get DJ Moore the football. He doesn't know what to do, guys. Remember, this is why I got beef with Justin Fields. You guys want to know why I don't like Justin Fields? I'm going to tell you. Because I think he's a liar. And anytime I think you're a liar, I don't like you. Okay? I got a high standard for conduct and integrity. And if you don't have integrity, I can't get down with you. So he's a liar. Remember, he left Georgia because he was racially discriminated upon and he was scarred by racial slurs. He says fans of Georgia called him the N-word and he was hurt from it. And he couldn't play at Georgia anymore. And that's why he was granted immediate eligibility when he transferred to Ohio State. That's why he didn't lose a year of eligibility. And he said he was subject to racial slurs and was verbally violent. And everybody felt sorry for him. And everybody was up in arms about it. Oh, my God, Rico, you got to understand. You don't know where he's coming from. Here's where I know he's coming from. His sister plays softball at Georgia right now. You tell me if you were a victim of racial slurs at anywhere, at any business, would you let your sister work there? Or would you tell your sister, hey, sis, we don't go there anymore. They were verbally abusive there. Hey, you don't want to work for that company. They racially profiled me. I was subject to racism when I went there. Nope. Ain't doing shit. Got your sister playing softball at a place you couldn't be at. It's a crock of bullshit. It's a hypocritical line. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. You're a professional football player. You can't advise your family members on where to go? I know. Oh, I know. Oh, Rico, she's an adult. She makes her own. So he wasn't really hurt then, bro. He wasn't hurt because she don't feel some type of way about the school neither. If that happened to my family member, I'd feel some type of way about it. Let me find out a local restaurant discriminated upon my family member. You think I'm going to go eat there? You think I'm going to go work there? I'm going to let bygones be bygones? Hey, I know you guys did my brother dirty, but I'm good. Hey, at least you ain't done me dirty. I'm here. Come on. It's bullshit, and everybody knows it. He lied, got away with it, and now, magically, they're good enough for his sister. They're not good enough for him, but they're good enough for his sister. Fuck. I can't stand it. Matthew Snyder, MVP package. Shout out to you, Matthew Snyder. Our phone, Roan? Jalen Roan, MVP package. Shout out to you. Guys, I get heated about people who lie. I get heated about people who lie and pretend to be a victim for their own benefit, and then 2 years later, 3 years later, 4 years later, they're letting their own family member go to that school that they said they couldn't be at anymore because they were having emotional meltdown and breakdown. That's bullshit. Let your sister do that shit. That's crazy, bro. Bench his ass. Who you got as your top 3 quarterbacks in the Big 12? And if Ewers isn't on the list, why? Ewers is on the list. Ewers is on the list. Knee jerk tells me Ewers right off the rip. Like, Ewers is the number 1 quarterback in the Big 12. He really is. He's a good quarterback. I don't know why you guys talk like this. The other 2 quarterbacks, though. Big 12. Think Dylan Gabriel's good? If I'm looking at it, yeah, I like Dylan Gabriel a lot. Let's do this. Let's go to stats. And let's pull up Big 12 real quick. Dylan Gabriel, not Chandler Morris. No. Not if I'm having tryouts. Ooh. You guys aren't like, I like Jalen Daniels. I like John Rice Plumlee. Man. Jalen Daniels, John Rice Plumlee, Quinn Ewers, those 3, put them in order you want. Those guys are exciting. Obviously, Dylan Gabriel's playing out of his mind. But you guys might misunderstand how good a quarterback is because of who he's surrounded by, right? This is why everybody thought Bryce Young was good. Bryce Young is not a good quarterback. He's just surrounded by 5-star players at every other position that could make him look good. That's all it is. He's surrounded by a 5-star defense that kept him getting the ball and kept giving him extra possessions. He's not any good. I'm just letting you know. Cam Akers just traded to the Vikings. Yeah, they didn't want him. Minnesota haven't announced compensation. Okay. Congratulations to Cam Akers. Nobody wants you, bro. If you don't, he's an absolute dog. 12 receptions, 290 yards against CMU at running back. Against Central Michigan? Yeah, Jack Wilson. Where did that come from? Oh, do I know who Dylan Lobb is? Yeah, I know who Dylan Lobb is. Relax, bro. Relax. Whew. How do you handicap Colorado without Travis Hunter? Is he worth 1.5 points? Doc Holliday, I'm not a gambler, bro. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't cap anything. I don't handicap anything. I'm not a gambler. I'm an analyst, bro. I'm an analyst. I do analysis of players' talent. I don't give a shit. I don't know how many points that dude's worth. Do I handicap it this way or the other? Oh, I'm going to handicap home field advantage is 3 points. Good weather is this many points. Tuesday night is this many points. A night game is 4 points. I don't know. I don't do none of that shit. I just look at the roster and go, yo, that guy's better than that guy. That guy's better than that guy. You do the rest of that nonsense. That sounds crazy, Doc. Luau Dong says, why Android phones but not iPhone to access VIP? Luau Dong, I'm not Apple, bro. I don't know. YouTube and Apple aren't compatible. So the iPhone doesn't pull it up. You got to use your Safari browser. It pulls it up there. Use the damn homepage. Go to TikTok, pull it up. It works. What kind of questions are these? I'm not the damn programmer. Step off. Insane. Thoughts on the Gunnar Gundy situation? Bobby Albright, I guess Gunnar Gundy's the damn starting quarterback for Oklahoma State. Let's start our son. He's not Shedeur Sanders, but let's start our son. They ain't got nobody else, man. The whole thing is gross. Oklahoma State's not scoring all season. You just told him a native app on an iOS doesn't have a join button. Doc Holliday, do you understand that dude has no clue what you're talking about? He doesn't know about operating systems. He doesn't know about native apps or new apps. He doesn't know. He just wrote, why do you have to use an Android phone versus an iPhone? He doesn't know what's going on. BB, shout out to Bishop Gorman. Okay, shout out to Bishop Gorman. Shout out to all the high schools out there. Can you please get down off me? Can you please get off me? I'm sorry. What's your thoughts on OK State? Gross. They're gross. Don't watch them. They're very boring. It's hard to watch. If they're not handing the ball off to Ollie Gordon, it's a rough watch, bro. He came back and walked it back in a press conference. Okay, Doc. I messaged you on TikTok. Yep. Thanks, Rico Kim, and great live. Thank you very much. Jeff says, thank you for talking about Group of Five and FCS. No one else does, and you really know what you're talking about. Love everything you do. Hey, Jeff, I love him. I love everything I'm doing. Thank you for being here. Matthew Snyder, thank you for being here. Thank you, Doc Holliday. Hey, love your channel, Rico. Thank you, Raymond. You always seem to be right. Please tell me some good news you see in the future for my Atlanta Falcons. Well, come on now. They have a running back they like, but I also think it's a product of the system. I think they have a great running scheme, and that's why they had such great running backs last year, right? The production's always going to be up because they have a great scheme for running backs. It's not the running backs. It's the scheme. It's the system. And they're going to be fine. They're going to run the rock a lot. I don't know what else you want me to say. I knew he wasn't going to be able to hack it. When he went vegan his senior year, he looked sickly, and his play suffered, he being Justin Fields. Yeah, I don't know about him being a vegan or anything, but I can tell you, if he wasn't wealthy, he'd be a virgin. No, I don't know what that kid's problem is. I just don't like liars. I just don't like liars. And he's been advised to lie, or he's a full-blown liar. That's his problem. What's your thoughts on OK State? Soon he'll be unemployed. Let me be very clear. Soon he'll be unemployed. Levi Emo, what's your thoughts on OK State? Yeah, they don't score. They're trash. What's your best lock for non-MVP games? Ooh, great question, Abelson. My best lock for non-MVP games. Let me pull it up. Give me a second here. That's a great question. You deserve an answer. So, non-MVP games, my best lock. Let's go with, I believe USC will beat Arizona State by 32.5 points. USC has a 32.5 point spread. Arizona State is playing their fourth string quarterback. I just think USC is going to cover that spread. That's an easy one right there. USC is explosive. They're going to put up 50, and Arizona State can't score. USC's defense is extremely improved. Arizona State can't score. Fourth string quarterback. There's nothing good about Arizona State. And USC beats them. That's how I feel. I'll watch it be a close game. But that's my number one. If I can look for another one, just so you can get 2 for 1, another one that's intriguing to me is Arizona versus Stanford. I like Arizona to cover that spread. It's now up to 12.5, though. It's growing. It was 9.5. Then it was 11.5 yesterday. Now it's 12.5 today. But Arizona to beat Stanford and excuse me for a second. And if you can go and bet on individual overs, take Arizona passing yards over, Arizona offense over, Arizona themselves the over. Anything, and if you can do any prop betting on Arizona, just go over passing. Stanford can't stop the pass at all, and Arizona's got a great passing attack. So there you go. Shout out to you, Adelson, for a great question. Appreciate the question. Is 2023 going to be one of the deepest classes for quarterbacks that the NFL has seen since 2012? Yeah, maybe. Sounds about right. I know you mentioned quarterback is an issue for West Virginia. What's your issues with them? Just a question. Thanks. So, Daniel Henderson, I think that didn't Green get hurt? Green got hurt and nobody else has stuck out to me. That's my problem as I watch them. Nobody really – they got to rely on their run game. They're stingy defense, and they're just kind of opportunistic. And it could be receivers not getting separation. It could be receivers not getting open. But from what I've seen, I think it sucks JT Daniels left him hanging because he's playing great at Rice, and he would have been pretty good at West Virginia for a second year. Getting humped by your dog on live. It happens, Daniel. It happens every single day. You guys don't always see it from the right camera angle, but she loves me. Sam Houston State versus Houston. Does Sam Houston State win? If they're going to win, it's this time. I like them. I don't like them to win the game, but I hope they do. My bad. Sent that message before you got my message. Jack Wilson, I don't know what you're talking about. Is Mitchell Evans or Holden Stays better at Notre Dame? They are not Big 12. I made it to MVP. There we go, Roan. Congratulations, Bobby Albright. Thoughts on Jordan Love's season so far as a Green Bay fan, hoping the guy can be. You know, I told you guys Jordan Love was terrible this offseason, and I was wrong. And I already made an I Am Wrong video about it. Jordan Love is playing great. He's had a couple years to get himself together. He's learned a lot. He's making good decisions. Like, I go back and watch the tape. He's making good decisions. I like Jordan Love. I love all his weapons. Let me make this clear. Green Bay, if you guys didn't know, Green Bay watches the channel. The Green Bay Packers scouting department watches my channel religiously. And they took all of my hidden gems, all of my late draft picks, and they drafted all of them. Every guy that I said is going to be a hidden gem or whatever, anytime they were up on the board to draft, they took a Rico Knows guy. It was incredible. I was like, oh, my God, they're watching my shit. So I really am encouraged by all the players they took in the draft. I like what they're doing. Shout out to Green Bay. I'm glad they're following the template and letting me scout for them, and just being watching from the shadows. So I appreciate Green Bay. Shout out to the Packers. They're going to be great if they keep watching me. Do you think C.J. Mosley is a top 3 middle linebacker? Shout out Theodore High School's finest. No, I do not. Levi Emo says, or Levi Emo, how about let's not repeat questions? Thank you very much. Oklahoma State is ass. Everyone knows it. End of discussion. Thank you, J2 to B. Jack Wilson, what are your thoughts on 8-man football? It's necessary for small schools and places, but I don't put a lot of value into it. It's a truncated field. Some good players can play, some can't. It's just small school football. It's no big deal. I watch girls flag football in Georgia. Yeah, I do. In December, we have the state championships, and we have girls flag football state championships, and I watch all of those. So, yes, I would watch 8-man football if I had time, but I don't have time right now. Sam Houston State plus 12. Sounds like they can make it a game. I don't see Sam Houston State losing by more than 12. They have a very good defense. OSU versus Notre Dame. Thoughts and plays. That is not a Big 12 game. Thank you very much. Trayshawn Ward regrets transferring with Trey struggling. There you go. With Trey Benson struggling, how about he's struggling? Trayshawn Ward is struggling. He's not starting. He got to K-State and Dobbins is starting over him. So that's another example of a player transferring and not going to the right place. You couldn't play at Florida State. You thought you were going to go over there to K-State and be the starter, and you're not. You're just another running back in a committee. You could have did that at Florida State and been winning on a national championship caliber team. Instead, you went to K-State, and you aren't the guy. That's bad guidance by whoever's giving him guidance. And, of course, the coaching staff's going to convince him to go there. They need every good player they can find. But it was no advantage to him to leave Florida State. You want to leave Florida State? Transfer to South Alabama. Transfer to JMU. Transfer to anywhere that they need a player, a running back. Not that shit. Hey, crew, just got off work. Catch y'all on the replay. Shout out to you, Jerry. Don't work too hard. I think Jerry works retail, so he gets out later or whatever. Daniel Henderson, Nico Marichal is the backup third string as a true freshman. Yeah, I know who he is. I know who Nico is. Yardsale Dale says, would you agree with the statement that Nicolosi is a better quarterback than every SEC quarterback this season? I personally think so, and I'm a Tennessee fan. No. You're taking Braden Fowler, Nicolosi, BFN at Colorado State? No, not at all. That's not even a Big 12 question, so I'm not even going to entertain it. But no, he's not better than every SEC quarterback. Jackson Dart's in the SEC. Jaden Daniels, SEC. What is wrong with you? Glad they took Carrington Valentine. Some good players to learn from. There you go. Bobby Albright. Shout out Dontavian Wicks and Romeo Dobbs. Best drafting team in the league. There you go. Two of my guys. I told them about Dontavian Wicks this year, and I talked all about Romeo Dobbs when he was at Nevada. He had a huge game on TV one time, and I just started spouting off Carson Strong and Romeo Dobbs forever. Yep. And their head coach back then? Yep. Jay Norvell. Austin Cronkite says, hey, Rico, do you think Michigan State will ever get to the national championship in the future? That's not a Big 12 question. Big 10 was yesterday. West Virginia definitely has a deep, deep running back room. They do and they don't. One of their leading running backs just transferred to Houston, but they're still good. Donaldson moving over to running back, being a former tight end, is really impressive. But outside of that, I don't think they're that deep. It's just players moving over that can play the position. Sorry for all the West Virginia questions, Rico. You're fine, Dan. It's your day, brother. It's your day. Have your day, dude. I ain't mad at you. Matthew, I'm not as nice as Rico. Watch the TikTok videos, watch the YouTube videos, and quit being ignorant to the fact that it's Big 12 Wednesday. Is McCaskill going to play versus Oregon? Not a Big 12 question. How do you feel about Martinez at BC? Was balling last game. Martinez at BC. I don't know what you're talking about. At Boston College? That's not a Big 12 question. Sorry, Daniel Marichal is out of that program in a year. What are the odds that Colorado beats Oregon? Not a Big 12 question. Rico, how bad was UC losing to Miami of Ohio? It's a pretty bad because that's a win you needed to have as a program that we counted as a win. It's pretty bad. You don't want to be losing to Miami of Ohio. You don't want to lose recruiting battles. You're a new coach. You're trying to make believers out of your team. And when the reality is Gage Larvadain is a problem. People don't know about him. They don't know how to deal with him. Gage Larvadain's a big problem. So, you know, Cincinnati has the easiest schedule in the Big 12 this year. They needed to win that one. They would have had at least 8 wins. But it's looking rough now. Have you talked about Texas Tech yet? You know, Joseph, there's not much to say. They've been underwhelming this year. I've been really disappointed in them. Their team is built from the transfer portal. They just not coming together. That's all there is to it. Ray Davis must have heard you saying he was mid last week, 107. Come on, bro. Come on. He's playing Akron. He's mid as shit. He's playing Akron. I could have did that against Akron. Who is the worst quarterback in the Big 12? I don't want to kick anybody when they're down. It's not necessary. But he plays in Iowa. Who wins the Red River rivalry this year? Whoever plays in it. Whoever has more points at the end of it. Is South Alabama that good or OK State just that bad? Well, that's not a Big 12 question, but OK State is that bad. South Alabama's a great team. You guys don't even know how good South Alabama. South Alabama's really good. Not a Big 12 question, but why can't people read and get with the program? J to the B, it annoys me more than it annoys you, I promise. Saw you were live and wanted to tune in. Sorry, I didn't realize it was Big 12 talk. My bad. Yeah, read the title. The title's right there. The title's on the show before you went in. Jaden Reed is pretty solid. He's more than solid. He's a great player. That was insane. The week before, Gage had 270. Correct. Gage is a problem. And they tried to shut him down, and he still had one big catch. I got to be honest, this is the longest I watch you live, and I'm cracking up. Truth hurts. Shout out to you, Daniel Henderson. I go 2 hours every single day. Just remember, guys, don't talk sports with your friends because your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Thank you guys for being here. Y'all stay blessed. Be great. Peace.
I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife, and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you. I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife, and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
I do this for the kids who sit a bit outside the mix, who maybe cope through humor just to fit in for a bit, who never let the world know when depression's setting in. To all of those who know you, that impression don't exist, and it ain't counterfeit, it's just a way to counter it. I'm living things I dreamed about, I still encounter it. It ain't something that a cigarette or alcohol can fix, but all because of it, I flipped it quick, went on to write some hits. This a success, off another breath. This the first step in searching to be nothing less than be the best in what you do to prove their strength in being you. Learn so much in chasing dreams that I never would in school. Depends on where your passion lie, just no passion never lie. Life presents distractions, but your actions have to fortify. The things that you believe in have to scream it like a battle cry, and leave the ones who didn't looking stupid while they're asking why. Couldn't lie, I really do this for the ones I love. Those who treat the music as a vice and lyrics like a drug. Those who need advice on how to lift their spirit high enough to break out of the box they make of lives they know aren't good enough.